Hey guys, Tad here from Attack of the Killer podcast with a Patreon exclusive bonus video for our YouTube channel. As always, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for giving us your hard-earned money. As you can see, I don't have a table in front of me, so I don't have a toy to open. I do actually have some toys to open, but that's not what this video is going to be about. I actually have something new that I bought, and I know it seems like I've been buying a lot lately, but it's becoming that time of the year when the temperature drops a little bit. Halloween stuff starts popping up in stores, and the stuff that we do year-round seems a little bit more normal. So I found something that I've been wanting for a long time online. It's something that I've been looking at for many years, actually, and I never pounced on it because of the cost. And then I realized last year when I was looking for it that the company no longer made it, and it was becoming more and more hard to find. So I'm always keeping a lookout on eBay for this item, and I found one for a really decent price. I offered a little bit less than what he was offering it for, and he took it, and now I have it. So I'll just get right to it. It's sort of cool item here. It's a mask, and you probably recognize it right when I pull it out. If you're a horror fan or listen to our podcast, you probably recognize this gigantic thing from Rob Zombie's movie, House of a Thousand Corpses. I think the character's called Ravelli, something like that. But one of the very first shots in House of a Thousand Corpses is this guy. You might see him outside. He's sort of waving outside of Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Madmen. And if you've seen that movie, which I assume you have, if you're watching this and subscribe to our channel, you're probably sick as we are and love this movie. But spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, don't listen to what I'm saying in the next whatever. Just close out this video, go watch the movie, and come back. But Captain Spaulding, that sort of introductory scene when the guys come to rob him, and he does the whole, fuck your mama, fuck your sister scene, and then he's telling the story about the guy who, he got the Planet of the Apes doll stuck up his asshole and all that. Well, Ravelli, the guy that's wearing this, comes in and hits the robbers over the head with, I don't remember what, like a wrench or a bat or something, and pulls this mask off. And like I said, you see him. He's actually in the Captain Spaulding's commercial at the beginning, black and white, that they show on the TV. He's sort of in the background doing like a wave thing, and he, like I said, it's a big dude wearing this mask, comes in, hits the robbers in the head, sort of saves the day. I think I just like this mask because it's so perfectly Rob Zombie. It's a big, giant, weird clown. I mean, this thing is huge. There's no camera trickery. This thing is like the size of my shoulder, and it's heavy to hold up. And it's done by Trick or Treat Studios. A few years ago, they had the license. They still have the license for House of a Thousand Corpses. They've made like an Otis, a Captain Spaulding. They've made quite a few things, but this to me was always the coolest. I mean, look at how gigantic this thing is. It's like the size of a mascot head, and the paint's pretty damn good. This mask lends itself well to a mass-produced sort of studio thing like Trick or Treat Studios because it's simplicity. It's pretty hard to screw up the paint on this guy. It has the real beard, and it has a sculpted chin underneath. This thing is just all latex, and how it works is it's hollow inside. It's a big rubber hollow mask, and just has a foam piece on top, and it just sort of floats on your head. But it looks just like the one in the movie. It's pretty cool. I think the one in the movie is actually rigid. It's not floppy like this, because I remember in the movie he like sort of picks it up and takes it off his head, and it doesn't have like a flex to it. You could sort of tell. But I got this thing for less than $50, and that's a steal for me. I'm trying not to get too much into mask collecting, but I keep finding deals, like my video last year when Halloween was over at Party City. I got all those $15 masks. So I think what I'm going to do is get some like PVC pipe and some elbows and like a wall mount, and I have some wall space in the other room that I haven't given you a tour of. I'm sort of expanding into another room where we call the band room, which has my guitars and a drum set and stuff. And I have a little bit of room in the hallway, but I think the best way to save space and display these masks is by hanging them on the wall. So that's probably going to be my next option. So when I start doing that, maybe I'll make a video show you that stuff. But like I said, it's cool. It's really big, really gigantic. They did a great job. Looks just like it did in the movie, and still tagged. This is brand new. I tried to search. There's all the corpses masks that they've made. You probably can't really see it very well. It has Otis with the white and black face paint, Ravelli, I guess, and Tiny. I forgot they made a Tiny, and then Captain Spaulding, obviously, all right there, as you can see. But this is brand new. Great paint apps. Like I said, this sort of lends itself well to them because it's hard to screw up, and it's just so cool. It's like a giant novelty. I just love the size of it, I think, is what I like. When I put it on, I look like a giant mascot. Like if Rob Zombie had a football team, this would be his mascot on the sidelines next to their giant robot and Satan that they do. But yeah, I love this thing. It's cool as hell, and it's so simple. I was very unsure of how it would hold up. The latex holds up really well. It has a good structure to it. It's hard to wear because it's so heavy and it has to bounce on your head. My head's pretty damn big, but this thing is gigantic. So it just sort of sits on top of your head and you have to sort of maneuver it so you can see out of it. Not something I would wear while driving or anything, which I shouldn't be wearing a mask while driving anyways, but if you know me, that's not that out of the question. So yeah, highly recommend this. If you can, the seller actually has one more on eBay, and I think he's selling it for like $55. This thing is awesome. If you're into mask collecting, into Rob Zombie, House of 1,000 Corpses, any of that stuff, go check it out. As always, thanks again for subscribing. Thanks again for watching. Leave some comments. I rarely see comments on these things, so I don't know if you're actually watching or if you made it to the end of this 8 minutes as I ramble about a latex mask. But if you do, even if you leave a comment and say, I made it this far, I made it to the end, I really appreciate it. We'd love to know that people are actually watching these and that we're not wasting our time. So, as always, thanks. See you next time on Attack of the Killer Podcast.